Welcome to the SI Academy of class 8th, chapter number 1st, crop production and management. In a previous video we discussed that where in a crop field unwanted plants are growing in a field, so that are not useful to the animals as well as the human beings. For that these should be removed from the crop, so that by the method called what weedicides. So this is called as what weedicide. So this person is spraying some chemicals on the plant, so the unwanted or undesirable plants will be removed by the method of weediciding. So this is called as a weediciding method. So this is we discussed in the previous video. So you want these videos of this chapter means please search in our playlist, you will got all the videos of this chapter. Okay, next will comes here. As already mentioned, the weedicides are sprayed during the vegetative growth of weeds before flowering and seed formation. Again we discussed it in the previous video that so these weedicides are sprayed before the before weeds flowering and seeds, before the weeds growing or producing flower and seed. Before that you have to spray the weedicides on that weeds, otherwise they will grow faster and they will multiply rapidly. So due to that only you have to spray before the flowering and seeding of the weeds. Spraying of weedicides may affect the health of a farmer, so they should use these chemicals very carefully. They should cover their nose and mouth with a piece of cloth during a spraying of these chemicals, and these chemicals will kill the weeds, correct? They will kill the weeds, but also they are harmful to the farmer. So due to this only they should be take some precaution using or mask or using some gloves, so that will prevents the damage of the health of a farmer. So by spraying the chemicals the farmer must use the cloth or some gloves or a mask to prevent from the diseases. Okay, this is the major point. Next will comes here harvesting. After the crop is completely grown, so it should be cutted and that will be, or it will be harvested and you have to be sold to in the market. Okay, that term is called as what? Harvesting. After complete growth of the plant, so that should be capable of producing, so that is called as what? Harvesting. Harvesting of a crop is an important task. Okay, harvesting is a very important task. The cutting of crop after it is mature is called as a harvesting. What is harvesting? The cutting of a crops. The cutting of crops after it mature is called as a harvesting. Mature means it is completely completely developed. Okay, so mature means what is completely developed, and the cutting of crops after mature is called as a harvesting. Okay, 1 mark definition they may be asked in your exam. What is cutting means you can what is harvesting means you can write the cutting of crops are called harvesting after maturation. In harvesting, crops are pulled out or cut close to the ground. Okay, what they will, first of all they will pulled from the ground, or otherwise they have to cut the crops with the level of the ground. There are two possibilities how to remove the, or you have to pull the crops from the field, otherwise you have to cut the crops from the ground level. It is usually takes 3 to 4 months cereals crop to mature. Okay, so it is depending upon the crops. So cereals like crops, they will get matured up to how many months? Up to 3 to 4 months they will get matured and they are ready to harvest. Harvesting is in our country is either done manually by sickle. Okay, this is called as what? Sickle. So this sickle can be used as removing weeds as well as and as a, and harvesting purpose. So this is what manual purpose. This is a physical process by labor process. Basically is used to both cutting the crops as well as the removing the weeds. So this method is called as a manual method, right? In our India it is commonly used. The farmers they are not use what modern methods, but most of them farmers are using the sickle method only by machines called as the harvester. Otherwise they are using the machines called as the harvester. Okay, already I said that the most people will use manually, but sometime to save the money and to save the labor work, so nowadays we are using what machines called as a harvester. Both are doing same work, but this man work takes a longer time and takes some money also, a lot of money, because more persons are required to cut the entire field. But machine can do the same work with less labor and less time and less money. Okay, this is called as what machines importance compared to the humans. In the harvested crop, the grain seeds need to be separated. After harvesting the crop, the grains should be what separated, right? Separated from the what chaff, separated from the chaff, right? Chaff, this process called as what threshing. What is threshing? The seed should be separated from the chaff. This process called as what threshing. Chaff means some unwanted parts of crops. This is carried out with the help of a machine called as the combine, which is in fact a harvester as well as the thresher. Okay, so for that purpose, the seed should be separated from its separated from what chaff. Seed should be separated from the chaff. So this purpose the machine called combiner or combine is used. It will doing the both work like this. So this machine is doing both work of what separating the seed from the chaff, as well as the it will also make the harvesting method. This is called as what combiner machine. So this is at a time it will do the both the works, but in the traditional method first farmer will be cut the crops, after that they will separate the seed from chaff. But this machine will at a time will do the both the functions. It will cut the crops as well as it will separate from the seeds of from what chaff. Chaff means what unwanted substance, waste product. Farmers with small holdings of land do the separation of grain and chaff by winnowing. Means these machines are used by the larger farmers. Means they having more number of acres or hectares of land. Means they will use this kind of machines for their separation of seeds from chaff or harvesting of crops. But thus farmers with very few hectares of land, they will use a winnowing method. This is called as what a winnowing method, right? So farmers with a small holdings of land do the separation of grains and chaff by what, which process? Winnowing process. You have already studied in the class 6th, right? So here this is when this machine is called as a winnowing machine. So when we add the harvesting crop here, so they will separate the seeds from chaff, right? This is used for what smaller purpose and smaller farmers. Okay, next topic will comes after harvesting. The next important thing is to store the harvested crop in a particular place with a protected manner. Why should we protect? Means so it should not be damaged and it should not be get eaten by the some animals. If they are eaten, if they are damaged, means the price of the crop will be reduced drastically. So if they are healthy seeds, means the price will be increases. The seeds are very damaged and they are eaten by the insects or rats or some microorganisms, means the price will be what decreased. So due to this only they are stored in a storage room or in a godam, so to protect the crops in a best way, right now. Okay. The storage of produce is an important task. If the harvested grains are to be kept for a long time, they should be safe from moisture, insects, rats, and microorganisms. Okay, the storage of grains is very important because so if you want to store the crops for a longer time, means it should be protected from the moisture, insects. It should be protected from what? Moisture, insects, rats, and microorganisms. If they are attacked the grains, means it will be damages, and it will no, it will becomes what? Less nutrients, and no one will be purchased the this kind of seeds. So due to this only they are stored in a best place for a longer period of time. If freshly harvested grains are stored without drying, they may get spoiled or attacked by the organisms, making them unfit for use for germination. Okay, so when crops are harvested, and that time only will not stored in a godam or a storage room, because if they are that time they are very moisture, so if that moisture will attract the microorganisms, and some animals they will eat, and they makes the seeds as a porous, and they will make the damage to it. Due to this only, after harvesting you have to dry the crops, or dry the seeds in front of the sunlight for a 1 day or a 2 day. After that we can store it in a godam, and it is also helpful for the germination means the same seed is taken for the next year for the crop fielding. So that is why it is very important, before storing the seeds you have to dry up the seeds. Hence, before storing them, the grains are properly dried in the sun to reduce the moisture in them. This prevents the attack by the insects, pests, and bacteria and fungi. So before that, so have to expose the all the seeds to the sun, so that sun will heat up the grains, and the percentage of moisture present in the seeds, that will be vaporized, and that time it is suitable for storing the grains in a storage room, or a godown. So this is the best way to store the seeds. After harvesting you have to kept 2-3 days in a sunlight, so all the moisture present in the seeds will be vanished, and after the moisture is removed, so there is no possibility of what attacking of insects, pests, and bacteria and fungi. So this is how it is important of storage of grains. Okay, thank you for watching. Please subscribe my channel and share with your friends. Thank you.